What is going on, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video. And we are here for my 2023 AEW / New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door predictions. The second ever Forbidden Door pay-per-view. I want to go on a bit of a spiel before I get into my predictions. With my predictions videos, I like for two things. And I've only been able to do it twice. I either like to have them 24 hours. What I'd like for both, but it's very hard to do. I like them 24 hours prior to the event. So in this case, 6 o'clock Central for me. And it is going to be like 6 o'clock a.m. So I'm like cutting that in half by the time this is probably uploaded. And I also like for every match on the card to be announced. That way, whenever I talk about the event and then I talk about my predictions, I'm not forgetting anything or I have to like leave an asterisk because I didn't predict that matchup. And I will be honest with you, I plan on uploading this Friday. I was like, Rampage is going to be done. I could do the freaking predictions after that, get a whole day's worth of it out. Then I completely forgot, hey, AEW has a show on Saturday, and they're going to announce a lot regarding this pay-per-view on that show. So I was like, well, there goes my hopes and everything. That being said, this card I think is going to be stellar, a word I very rarely, if ever, use. And let's get ready to predict them. First 4 matchups take place on the 0 hour / buy-in pre-show. The reason I said both is because I still don't know. I think AEW pay-per-views, their pre-shows are the buy-in, and then Ring of Honor, their pre-shows are the 0 hour. Regardless, they're the free matches on YouTube and other platforms. The first one being a first-round matchup in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Athena versus Billy Starks. As somebody that watches AEW I just said AEW. I do watch AEW each week. But specifically, Ring of Honor each week, Athena has had a dominant reign as their women's champion. I think she's lost one match this year and as a tag match, not in Ring of Honor. So like I said, she's had a dominant reign. I think she's going to go far in this tournament. So by default, I think she has to win this first matchup against Billy Starks. So I predict Athena. Next matchup, United Empire, which consists of Jeff Cobb, Kyle Fletcher, and TJP versus Los Ingobernables de Japón. Got the hat on and everything. These are the big guns of LIJ. Well, not one of them, but I'm picking LIJ to win this matchup. But I will admit, I do not think I have seen Kyle Fletcher lose a matchup because he's been competing on Ring of Honor a lot, and the only matchup I can remember him losing was the ladder match at Super Court of Honor. So United Empire might win this, but I'm picking LIJ. I got the hat on. Just keep the mojo going. Next matchup, Stu Grayson versus El Phantasmo. I think this will be a low-key, underrated, good matchup. I'm going to pick El Phantasmo to win. Maybe the Dark Order will get involved. I believe the Righteous will be at ringside with Stu Grayson. And the last matchup on the buy-in, the Mogul Embassy, Swerve Strickland, Tony Leona, and Khan versus Roppongi Vice, Trent, and Rocky Romero, and El Desperado. I'm picking the Mogul Embassy to win this matchup, give Swerve some more momentum. And I know that normally Tony Leona and Khan team with Brian Cage, but I have not seen them lose a matchup on Ring of Honor, because they are also the champions of the 6-man division, but Swerve's going to be in there. I imagine he could help them win as well. Now on to the main card. I did not just pick my nose. I know it looked like I wiped my mustache, but I touched my nose first. So I don't want it out there that I picked my nose. First matchup, CM Punk versus Satoshi Kojima. This is a matchup in the first round of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I think CM Punk is I would say 99% sure he is going to win this tournament. And that being the case, he'd have to win this matchup by default. But I will say Kojima, lariat for the giggles. Next matchup, Adam Cole versus Tom Lawler. It is great to see Tom Lawler on a pay-per-view, but sadly, he is most likely going to lose to Adam Cole, baby. Next matchup, Lasuki Gods, Minoru Suzuki, Chris Jericho, and Sammy Guevara versus Tetsuya Naito, Darby Allin, and my guy, Sting! Sting ain't lost no match in AEW. If he ever loses one, I'm going to be very upset. I do not think he's going to lose this matchup, teaming up with Naito. On commentary on Collision, Kevin Kelly said, well, last year they teamed with Shingo Takagi. They were the dudes with attitude. But Kevin Kelly on commentary said, Los Stingobernables de Japón. So, don't know if that's their official name. If it is, it is. I'm picking them to win this matchup and extend Sting's winning streak. Next matchup, a massive one. Jon Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio Castagnoli, Inosuke Takeshita, and Shota Umino versus Hangman Adam Page, the Young Bucks, Eddie Kingston, and Tomohiro Ishii. I'm going to pick the BCC, Konosuke Takeshita, and Shota Umino to win this matchup, mainly because the Elite do not get along with Eddie Kingston. It's probably going to play into their storyline. And I feel once the BCC versus Elite storyline wraps up, if and when, don't know, I imagine that'll be the big matchup that the Elite finally triumphantly win that matchup. Now we got a couple of championship title bouts to talk about. The first one being the International Championship that debuted or started at last year's Forbidden Door event. But guess what? Back then it was known as the All-Atlantic title. And this is going to be a bold prediction. I think this match is going to be way better than the All-Atlantic title match last year. This one consists of Orange Cassidy, Daniel Garcia, Katsuyori Shibata, and Zack Sabre Jr. Orange Cassidy has had a dominant reign as champion, and I do not see it ending. So I'm going to pick Orange Cassidy, and I imagine that Shibata and Garcia are going to tease their pure title. That matchup, I don't know when it's going to take place. I would fully imagine at Death Before Dishonor next month, Shibata and Garcia, I think we're going to get some teases of that. Maybe, hopefully, Zack Sabre Jr. is on that pay-per-view event as well because he's appeared on ROH a handful of times. And he teased something with Samoa Joe that kind of was a cliffhanger, if you will. Then Orange Cassidy can continue his reign. So I'm picking Orange Cassidy. Next matchup for the AEW Women's Championship. Toni Storm versus Willow Nightingale. I'm going to pick Toni Storm because her title reign just began. And I'm slightly mad because the last AEW predictions video for Double or Nothing, I got every matchup right except for the women's title matchup. To be fair, I didn't even think the matchup was going to take place. I thought they were going to do like a screw thing, and the match didn't even take place. But Toni Storm won the matchup. This is another small nitpick. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But Willow Nightingale is in the Owen Hart tournament, and she just won her first matchup against Nyla Rose. It just is going to be very weird for... Also, I just realized that she's probably got this matchup because she's the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. So they're like, oh, we have a New Japan Women's Division competitor competing. So I just kind of put that together because all these matchups are AEW versus New Japan or AEW with New Japan. So I think that's why they did that. I just put that together. I'm a smart person. But long story short, Willow's in the Owen Hart tournament. It's just going to be very weird for me because she just won her first round matchup. Now she's going to hypothetically, I think she's going to lose this matchup. If she won, I'd be surprised. But then I don't see her winning the tournament. That's kind of the moral of the story. So it's going to be weird to see her lose a matchup. So it is what it is. It's just me overthinking like I normally do. I'm also trying to see who she's going to face the winner of Athena versus Billie Stark. I already picked Athena. And I think Athena versus Willow would be a good matchup because it's higher stakes, because Willow is already the New Japan Women's Champion, New Japan Strong Women's Champion, and then Athena's the ROH Women's Champion. That is going to be a bigger deal because that matchup already took place in Ring of Honor at least once. So, I spent a lot of time talking about that. Next matchup. For the AEW World I'm reading the bracket for the Owen Hart Cup. I just realized that the finals are going to be on an episode of Collision, which I did not know that. It is what it is. For the AEW World Championship, MJF versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to be the bitter person. I'm not that excited for this matchup. I'm not an MJF hater, but it's definitely going to be difficult for me to see him beat Hiroshi Tanahashi because I don't think Tanahashi is going to be AEW World Champion. So I'm picking MJF. This MJF title reign has not been terrible. It's just going to be interesting to see, hypothetically, who's going to be the next world champion. And it's just very much a, let's get this match done with, that way we'll see who's next. And I love Hiroshi Tanahashi, but I just don't see him winning the world title. If he did, you ain't going to hear no complaining from me. Next matchup for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Sanada versus Jungle Boy. Sanada, my guy, I am not hating that he is world champion, but I did say in my fantasy booking for Forbidden Door video, whoever gets booked against Sanada, people are going to be upset about it and critique it. I personally had him against Wheeler Yuta because at that moment, Wheeler Yuta had a lot of momentum because he had just pinned Kenny Omega, and I'm not going to say that momentum is completely gone, but because they did not showcase that as much as they should have. So, that being said, like I said, but they were going to complain about it. So, a lot of people have complained that Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, is getting a title opportunity. It does not matter to me, because it's going to be a good matchup. I like Sanada. I've liked Sanada ever since I saw him in TNA in 2014. But, and I had a point of saying that, because the whole premise of this matchup, at least via interviews and in the promo package, neither man know who each other are. Sanada doesn't know who Jungle Boy Jack Perry is. Jungle Boy Jack Perry does not know who Sanada is. And I'm more upset at Jungle Boy because you should have been watching TNA in 2014. You would have saw some good Sanada. He was the X Division champion. He had a great reign. And then they put him in the Redneck Revolution. He was acting like Great Muta. He just did nothing then. So now he's in New Japan. He is the world champion. I do have a Sanada and Evil t-shirt that I probably should have wore for that. It was a bit outdated considering they're not a tag team. I know I went on a whole spiel. Sanada's winning it. I will be intrigued to see, because a lot of people are like, Jungle Boy needs to turn heel. They're booing him and all that. I think a Jungle Boy Hook storyline shall be interesting, considering Hook is supposed to corner Jungle Boy. It will be very interesting. Next matchup. These last two are in the thumbnail of the video. These two matchups could be the match of the year and be on the same card, and that's pretty crazy. This one, for the New Japan United States Championship, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. The only matchup that I did in my fantasy booking video that has taken place. I'm trying to look around. I did say they should do a Fatal 4-Way for the international title, so I'm giving myself some brownie points for that. I predict Will Ospreay to win this. I think New Japan probably want their United States Championship back. And B, I think at some point we will get a third tie-breaking matchup between these two men. And with that being the case, it'd be like, because Kenny won at Wrestle Kingdom, Will wins at Forbidden Door. When the hell is the third matchup? I know a lot of people are pushing for that match to take place at All In, because Will Ospreay is from England. I think they should I don't know when the hell they should do it. I don't want it to be at All In, though. That way it's spaced out, and whenever it takes place, it's a bigger deal. So I do think Will Ospreay is going to win for those several reasons. And now we get to the main event. Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. I don't think it's crazy to say, but the best wrestler in AEW versus the best wrestler in New Japan. I think that's, I don't know how often we could say that we have seen that. I was about to say a bold face lie, because I was going to say, I guess the closest to this is Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair, Bash at the Beach 1994. But there's probably a lot of better wrestlers than Hulk Hogan in WWF. And both of them were in WCW at the time. But it's just like, I would say we've never seen the best in one company versus the best in the other take place. And this is going to be something that I think I'm definitely taking for granted. Maybe you're also taking for granted. I think we need to appreciate it. That being said, I'm going to pick Kazuchika Okada. Bryan Danielson has lost a lot of big-time matchups so far in his AEW tenure. And Okada is the big match guy. He wins. He might lose every once in a while, but he's going to win when it matters most. So that is it for my predictions for AEW/New Japan Forbidden Door 2023. I apologize for it being up so late, but I wanted to make sure it was going to be difficult for every match to be announced, but there's 14 matches. They add more, people are going to lose their minds, but I predict these 14 matches that were announced. So I'm going to shut up. Hopefully we can all enjoy the event and enjoy the rest of our weekend. Stay safe. Thanks. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you.